Okay, ma'am, this is Mr. Kamal with PoliceAbuse.com. Would you please state your name and tell us the nature of your complaint?
Colleen Nelson, uh, police brutality.
Okay, Miss Nelson, tell me what happened and start by telling me the name of the police department and if you know the name of the officer.
Forsyth Police Department, and the officer's name is Matthew Thomas Perry,
Okay, and where is this department? What state are you located
Georgia.
in? In Georgia. Okay. All right, tell me what happened.
Uh, my oldest daughter was being arrested. Uh, she had my 15-year-old with her, and she had her she had her 15-year-old sister and her four kids with her, and the oldest one was 4. They went to watch their daddy at a horseshoe tournament. They pulled into the Farmers Bank Park, and the officer there told them no parking. I don't know what happened right in there, but I do know the officer would not let the 15-year-old go get the kids' daddy. So she calls us up to come and get her and the babies. I drive my car, and he drives his truck because he's helping somebody else. We both go up there. I pull up there, and the officer, all he kept telling me was there wasn't no parking there. And all we wanted to find out was where, the 15-year-old was and the kid. And he called 201 backup because he knew my husband was getting upset. And my husband just kept asking him, why ain't there no parking there? We got a bank account here. The bank was open that day. So when he called 201 backed up, my husband got in his truck and he was leaving. And the cop called back and said, never mind, he's leaving. We thought that was the end of that. He's in his truck. He stops at the stop sign right there at Farmers Bank. He goes to make his right, and next thing you know, the sirens and everybody, they pull him over. And all I know is he was getting out of his truck and had his hands up, and before anything really else happened, Terry shot him with a taser.
Okay. And Terry is the police officer.
Yes, sir. He's not the original one. He's not the one that was in the parking lot.
Okay. All right, but he was one of the officers who was there, and the officer's name is Matthew Thomas Perry. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at the time that he shot your husband with the taser, did your husband comply with what they had asked him to do? Basically, did he pull over when they got behind him?
Yes, sir. It was like within, like the parking lot of the bank's right here, and before he even got to the end of the bank, he pulled right over. He didn't try to run or nothing. He pulled right over.
So he pulled over right away, and
Right.
he didn't try to resist or do anything to resist the officers, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
The officer said that in the report, but the taser video shows different.
Oh,
What the officer actually said.
do you have video of what happened?
Um, yes, sir.
Uh,
It was on 13 WMAZ news, our news station down here.
mm-hmm.
The taser video was on it too.
And they showed your husband being tased.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me back up a few steps. I want to make sure I have this story right. Your husband is going to a horseshoe tournament. Is that right?
No, sir. No, sir. My son-in-law was at the horseshoe tournament.
Okay, your son-in-law is at the horseshoe tournament, and your husband came to assist with the children. Is that right?
Right. We come down there to the Farmers Bank to get the kids because, like I said, there was twins, and I think they was not quite 2. And then you had a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Okay, so you guys came to pick up the kids.
Right.
Your husband was a bit upset that there was no parking. Is that right?
No, he was upset because the officer wouldn't tell us where they was at.
Ah, okay, okay,
All the officer would have done, all he'd had to tell us, well, look, their daddy come and got them. And we'd left. He
okay,
wouldn't tell us. He kept saying, no parking.
okay. So let me back up then. This incident starts because your son-in-law is at the horseshoe tournament. You guys arrive to help pick up the kids, and all you want is information from the officer about where they are. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. How would the officer know where they are? Was he involved in some way with the kids?
Um, the first officer,
Yeah.
He's the one that arrested the baby's mother. He arrested them.
Oh, I see. So your daughter
He
got.
arrested her.
Okay, I got it. So they had already arrested your daughter. Is that right?
Right. We knew what she was at. She was going to jail.
Okay, I got you. But you wanted to know where the kids were, and your husband was very worried about them.
Right.
Okay, so that all sounds reasonable up to this point. So now he's worried about where the kids are. He knows that your daughter's been arrested. He's concerned, and he's asking the officer where they are. Is that right?
Right.
And the officer wouldn't give him any information. He kept telling him no parking.
Right.
Okay, so your husband's upset, and then he drives away.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how far did he drive before the police pulled him over?
Okay, we was in the Farmers Bank parking lot. We was in the parking lot.
Okay.
That was our bank. Our bank was open that day.
Okay.
Okay. He stopped at the stop sign, and when he started to take his right turn, turn onto the road, the sirens come on, and he pulled right over then.
Okay, now let me back up.
Sirens, he pulled right over.
Okay, let me back up. Now, did he have any sort of a fight, altercation? Was he?
No, nothing.
Okay, so the only thing that he had that had happened before they pulled him over was a brief argument with the officer about where the kids were.
Right.
And when your husband was arguing with the person, and I shouldn't characterize it, maybe you can tell me, was he arguing loud? Was he even arguing? Was he yelling? How was he talking to the officer?
No, as a matter of fact, he wouldn't even. He was. All he was doing was he was asking them where the kids was.
And nothing more than that.
Nothing more than that. Then he was talking to me, and he told me, he said, well, since we can't park here, get our money out of the bank. And he was talking to me at that time.
Okay. So he never used any profanity. He never cursed the officer. He never threatened.
No, sir, he doesn't cuss or nothing.
He didn't threaten the officer in any way.
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
This officer that he was talking to, didn't have nothing to do with him being tased or nothing.
Okay, I got you. So, who do you think called the police to follow you guys? Was it that officer or someone else?
That's what we don't. We don't know. But all the charges against my husband has been dropped.
Okay, well
all charges.
Okay, let me continue. I'll get to that in just a moment.
Okay.
All right. So now your husband leaves. The police somehow decide to pull him over for what I don't know at this point. Did he know why they were pulling them over?
No. No, sir. That's what he couldn't figure it out.
Okay. So now they pull your husband over. He gets out of the car, and you said he got out of the car with his hands up. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And while his hands were up in the air, did he reach for anything? Did he do anything aggressive at all?
No, sir.
Okay.
All he done was, because my husband had seizures, he got out of his truck with his hands up, telling him to please don't shoot him with that thing. He had seizures. About that time, the officer went boop and shot him with it.
And they shot him anyway?
And they shot him anyway.
Now, was he doing anything to resist?
No, sir. That's one of the reasons they dropped charges. Because the DA and them, didn't nobody see nothing in there where he tried to resist or nothing.
Okay, let me continue with your story. So they taser him, and what happens? Does he fall to the ground? What was the effect of the taser on him?
Yeah, he fell. He fell to the ground. And by the video, it looks like they tased him after he. It looks like he tased him twice. Is what it looks like.
Okay, and what's the television station that had a copy of the video?
13 WMAZ.
WMAZ. Is it on their? Is that video available on their website?
Yes. You can go to May the. I think the thing aired May the 26th. If you can go back to then.
Okay.
Probably see it now and read what was said and reason they dropped charges and stuff.
And what did they charge your husband with?
He charged him for assault against a police officer. They charged him with fleeing and eluding. They charged him. The guy told him. He said, "I'm gonna pop this and I'm gonna pop."